Welcome back, everyone, to the first product webinar of this year. It's great to see all of you once again. As you know, the purpose of this presentation is to keep you updated with all the new releases we're launching on the product so that you can take the most out of the tool. Today, we bring you advanced and deeper research with the newest Survalyzer tools, presented as always by Bart, our product manager. And if you have any questions, as usually at the end, please feel free to leave them in the chat. We will go through them at the end if we have a few minutes available. And having said that, I give the word to our presenter today. Bart, you can take over.
Thank you, Melanie, and hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here again on our new releases summary from the last quarter. My name is Bartosz Moszczeński, better known as Bart. I'm a senior product manager at Survalyzer, and let's jump right into it then. So today, I will have just a few slides. I mean, majority of the presentation will be done inside the application, but just a few slides to keep our agenda structured. So today, apart from a short introduction, we will focus on three main topics. One is AI follow-up questions, otherwise known as AI probing. Also, video rating question type. Also, our new improved MaxDiff question type. And a little sneak peek into what are we currently working on and what is coming next. So, starting off with a short introduction to our current users. So first of all, as you may notice, last Friday we did the final switch to the new design without possibility to go back. Big thank you to everyone that left the feedback in our new design survey. It really helped us identify all the potential areas for improvement. Now we were confident to make the final switch, and now you can just enjoy the new version. If you still see any issues or you still see any hiccups, please let us know using the customer support ticket creation. Second topic is that if you are here, I assume that you like hearing about new features and you like experiencing them. So if you haven't yet, I strongly encourage you to go to your user settings. You can find them, if you go to your profile, you can find that now there is this early access to beta feature setting, and this allows you to see all the beta features we launch only for this group of people first. Which, by the way, two of the features presented today are also currently still in this final beta phase. So if you want to experience them after the webinar, then you have to have this checkbox selected. So moving on to the main part, first we start with the AI follow-up question, so AI probing. So here, probably many of you already know. If not, the main goal here is that probably you are familiar with, like in NPS tracking surveys, in CSAT surveys, we face the problem of these short, vague, open-ended answers, and that they don't provide much value with working with text analytics, either automated or manual, but it's just not providing enough value, and it's often begs for just like a simple, quick follow-up question to know more. Now, AI allows us to do it in a personal way, personalized way per respondent. And we created this feature with two things in mind, so that it should only ask follow-up question when it makes sense, and also that it is optimized to get more details on one of the topics in the initial answer, right? So not in general, some general open answer like what was your general experience, but just to get more details on one of the topics mentioned. So to jump back and to quickly see, what are we talking about in terms of AI follow-up question. So before we focus on the admin experience, let's just quickly see what is the respondent's experience with this topic. So here, let's imagine that we are a coffee shop selling coffee beans online, and we are sending this customer satisfaction survey at the end of every shopping experience. So after like successful purchase and delivery of the product, right? And let's say I'm one of the customers, and I say, okay, so I'm, let's say, semi, neither satisfied nor satisfied with my shopping experience. And why? Because actually, I would say coffee tastes great. However, your websites could be better, and I don't provide more details, right? So if I submit this type of answer, AI analyzes this if there is a space for more details to be uncovered. And in this case, there is, because I said coffee is great, but not necessarily what about the website. So the AI is asking, could you clarify what specific aspects of the website could be improved to better meet your expectations, right? And then I can answer that, yes, for example, product pages could have more, right? And then I know that it's actually not about, I don't know, navigation or speed, but actually about product pages, right? So this is one example. The other one we can do, for example, is that this time I'm, let's say, very dissatisfied client that, for example, the price didn't actually reflect the coffee quality I received, right? Here we can see what AI says. Okay, prices can definitely set expectations. Could you share what coffee quality or specific aspects were mismatched compared to the price, right? And then we can say that, for example, yeah, coffee tasted bad, let's say, right? It was stale, right? So then we know it was actually about the taste and not about, I don't know, package experience, for example. So these were the examples where there was an opportunity for some follow-up. However, now let's see what happens. Let's say I'm a satisfied customer and I'm saying that, yeah, actually my coffee, it was a great flavor, clearly freshly roasted, right? And now AI analyzes it, and this time it said, okay, so generally it was short, but pretty specific, and I don't see here any reason to follow up. And this is by design so that we don't, yes, frustrate respondents and we don't increase dropouts by asking some general open answer or general follow-up questions when they are not needed, right? So the entire feature is designed in a way so that we only ask it when there is actually a space for it, right? Another example we can do quickly is okay, I'm also very satisfied. I can say, yeah, coffee was still tasting great 2 weeks after opening. This also seems pretty specific, and as you can see, this time AI also says, okay, this here doesn't look like it needs any follow-up, right? So this specific behavior mechanisms is created in order for you to feel, to be safe, that it will not frustrate some respondents and, hey, I already provided you, why do you ask me again, why, right? So you can this is created with this intention in mind. So this was the respondent experience, and now going to the survey creator experience. So this feature is basically just a setting on any open question, right? So if you go to our add content and add an open question, then you can see that in the sidebar settings, you can find AI follow-up open-ended question, and when you do, then it automatically starts creating this behavior you just experienced. We have main two settings here to configure. One is that you define the range of number of words within which AI should even consider asking follow-up. Why? Because sometimes if it's just one word answer or someone already provided elaborate long answer, we know that we don't want to ask follow-ups because we don't want to even involve AI into evaluation if the follow-up is needed, because the respondent already spent enough time and we don't want to frustrate them. Additionally, we also don't want AI, to involve AI in terms of also the credits, right? Because of course credits are used for each evaluation and run. So here you can specify what is the maximum amount of words in the initial answer when we want to actually involve AI to evaluate and ask this follow-up question, right? And then, of course, you can also decide if the AI follow-up should be mandatory or not separately from the main open question. What is great here is that you can just turn it on and off, and when you turn it off, you get an option that will actually keep related variables in raw data or remove them. And this combination of the fact that it's just a setting on an open question and that you can turn it on and off, this is great for you to test on any existing survey that you have, right? So if you already have like continuous NPS tracker or CSAT tracker or some template that you reuse for wave-based surveys, you can just enable it for a day, check how it works for your specific project, and then decide if it's worth keeping or not for your specific scenario. In our cases, when we tested, the AI follow-ups are asked between 30% to 60% of the cases in terms of what type of things respondents answer, but it varies a lot depending on the topic, on the question, and on the type of research, whether people actually provide longer answers or not. So you have to check for your specific scenario. In terms of the raw data, this is also, I would say, very convenient, because for every open question, so this is my main variable of the open question, you get 3 additional variables, storing the first answer, follow-up questions, so you can see exactly what AI asked this specific respondent, and also the follow-up answer. But so this is for you to for audit reasons, so that you know exactly what happened. However, for the analysis itself, it is conveniently stored. Both answers are conveniently stored in the main variable. So here you can see that, for example, here is the first answer, and then I have the second answer all together in the main variable. And this is very convenient, because whatever type of analysis you are already doing on your open-ended answers, you can just keep doing it exactly the same way, right? You don't have to redo your dashboards. You don't have to think about those other variables. You just continue analyzing just the main variable, and here you have basically the extended content actually referring to the same thing, because AI is always asking about more details on the topic already mentioned. So basically it reads, in majority of cases, it just reads like one longer answer, and it is possible to just analyze it using this one variable. Also within Survalyzer itself, you get to use all the AI text analytics features out of the box. So for example, if you go to the report, in this case expert report, and you arrive at this open question we are asking, you can decide whether in this raw data table in the report you want to include those AI follow-up details or not. So if you just want to see this combined content, or also the details that we saw in the raw data, and then you can use all AI text summary features we already have. Like, for example, generate AI summary. We can just say, please generate me the summary. And the summary will already include both the first answer and the follow-up answer all together, right? So here, where we can see what type of positive sentiments were mentioned in the comments and negative sentiments, and I can just add it to my report, right? The same way, if I want to configure this per interview AI text analytics, I can go here, I can select just please analyze the sentiment and topics for my main variable, right? Help me suggest topics, what topics you see there. And this way I can just analyze sentiment and topics within this main question variable that contains combined answers. So this is the experience of the survey creator. This is in general AI follow-up question. If you have any questions or feedback related to it, please let us know in chat or in the survey after the meeting today. All right, so moving on to the next topic, video rating question type, right? So this is our new question type that we introduced recently. So of course, it was possible in Survalyzer to show videos to respondents and then ask questions about it. So that's obvious. However, oftentimes we hear your feedback, and oftentimes it is needed to actually capture feedback in moment when viewing the video, right? Especially, for example, if you are testing some longer format advertising videos, right? Or some concepts being presented on the video that you would like to actually capture some kind of a respondent assessment during the video. So this is exactly what we introduced this question type for. So here I have a demo. So again, first maybe let's quickly see the respondent experience with this question type. So here it is actually very important to correctly instruct the respondent on how to interact with this question type, right? So in this case, let's say I'm testing the video advertisement. In this case, it's quite short, right? So probably it was not like a real world scenario, because normally this would be a longer video, but for today's purposes, I just selected the short one. And the instruction is, how do you assess each moment of the video? Notice the slider below the video, right, this one, and move the slider while watching the video, right, to assess what you currently see, right? If you like it or you don't like it. And now if I just play the video, right, you can see the video is playing. I can say, okay, I don't like this, let's say, first view that much. All right, this let's say second shot is a bit better, so I like it a bit better. It was super fast, of course. In normal scenario, it would be much longer, but just to give you a hint of how it works. And now basically this is the end of respondent experience. They can just submit the answers, right? So in this way, respondents can actually react during watching the video, what they like, what they don't like, how do they feel, negative, positive. You have the flexibility to define what you are asking for. In terms of how do you configure it as a survey creator, basically you can find in add content, right, under methods, you will find this new video rating question type. When you add it to your survey, basically you just configure your labels, you add a video, you decide whether it's the same one for each language of your survey or you want to provide different ones. And that's basically it, right? So nothing I would say super advanced here to worry about, just straightforward video rating experience and configuration. Important part happens then in the report. When you configure just out of the box report for this question type, you get this nice analysis of mean results per each second of the video. If the video is if the video is long until 5 minutes long, then it's per second. If it's longer, then it's every 5 seconds. But you get this mean analysis during time-wise, how respondents actually assess it during watching it. And then you see that we have this middle value here, and then the mean assessment across all respondents. And this way you can divide and see which parts of your video were actually nicely assessed and which more negatively. Maybe last important thing is that whenever you configure it, it didn't bloat your variable number in the survey. As you can see, entire question type actually is just one variable. And all the information is actually here in this one, let's say, JSON object. So that's why our Survalyzer provided analysis is very convenient, because we automatically take all those values, calculate means, and show you the end result table and chart. Of course, you can also do it manually. However, then first you have to convert then this JSON object to something that Excel, for example, will take just as normal input for charts. But it is not needed, because you can just take the output table if you want to work directly with numbers. And so you can create a report and download just a table itself, right? Instead of just working with the raw data directly. All right. So this is the video rating experience. Again, if you have any questions or feedback, let us know. We analyze all of those feedbacks you provide. Moving back to our presentation, the next topic is MaxDiff. So also, if you are already a Survalyzer user for some time, you probably know that we have this MaxDiff question type for quite some time. However, it was a simple version. Now we have introduced a much more advanced one. So let me quickly present. So in general, MaxDiff is usually about researching what factors influence a decision, right? And in this case, you have a few different options. So sometimes it is potentially intuitive to start thinking about a rank order, right? So for example, to asking respondents, okay, so for example, when buying a new smartphone, which of those factors matter most to you and which matters least? And we ask them to rank order specific features. However, if the list is getting long, in this case, I think we have 12 different features, and oftentimes you actually want to test even more, like 20 or 30 different things. Then this rank order question type behavior starts to be quite heavy on the respondent side to actually decide, okay, what is the actual ranking of all those things, right? Also, the usability experience is not that easy to drag and drop all those elements together. So the more items we have and the longer ranking we actually want to create, this is not great for actually testing which factors influence decision. Also, calculations are not that straightforward, and in terms of how to make sure that if respondents answer differently, so that the actual aggregate result in the end actually makes sense, right? So for that, the MaxDiff research method is often used, and our initial version, already present in Survalyzer, allowed you to have this respondent experience, right, where you provide all the features, and then you are presented. Let's maybe quickly see, right, and then the respondent is presented with several different tasks, and they can just decide which is the most important and least important. Actually, here I don't have labels, so maybe let me quickly jump to my main one so that I can show one with labels. So that's out of those items, right, which of those items you actually matters most and which matters least, right? So this way we can decide how it works. But in this first version, it was simple because, for example, if you provided 12 items, you see that the only setting you had was to decide, okay, I want to show 3 items per sub question, and you didn't have more possibilities into how many items you want to show. And also, we had a simple scenario that if you have 12 items, that means that each respondent will see 12 sets like that to assess, which is, can be quite a lot, especially if you have more like 20 different items or 30 different items. Then asking respondents to assess 30 different sets, this is a huge workload, right? And usually not reasonable for the research. So this simple version was used for the lower number of items. And also on the analysis part, we were also using a simple counts, right? Which also oftentimes have very good results. However, especially if you start having more items per set, they don't take into considerations relations between different items being assessed, right? And we heard your feedback on the topic, and we basically implemented the new version, where this time you have much more flexibility in how you define your research. So let me just maybe quickly go again to present the respondent experience, right? So in this case, so that we are all on the same page, right? So in this case, I'm assessing which items matter to smartphone buying decision, and I can say, okay, so in this case, brand is most important for me. Design, maybe that's not so much. Yeah, again, brands. Yeah, I don't care about, for example, sensors. In this case, again, brands, and I don't care about memory card option, right? So for me as a respondent, it's very easy in this way to decide, okay, which of those 5 items or 4 items are the most important for me, and which is the least important for me. And when I finish the whole process, then I get this. I mean, for the respondent, it's the end, and it's just simple. And now let's also focus on what does it mean for us as a survey creator. So first of all, you can see that now you get the summary of exactly what is happening in my research design. So I see that I have 12 number of items. I see that we display 5 items per question. I see that number of questions per respondent is 8. Number of block design version is 6. This means actually that we have 6 different research designs, so six different ways of showing those sets, and each respondent will be shown, it is rotated between respondents, right? And this is created with the purpose so that you can still have a very nicely balanced design across your whole sample, and it allows you to show less questions per one respondent, and this then meets I would say, the need of having a better respondent experience, and then still having very reliable results on the analysis part, right? And also you get the recommendation of the complete recommended, which is very conservative on our part, actually, because we aim to show each of the item across the whole sample is aimed to be shown 1,000 times, right? So if you are very advanced with MaxDiff, you can of course adjust it. It should work very fine with smaller samples, because on the market best practices start usually from 500 impressions. We for this recommendation we target 1,000 to stay on the conservative side, but you can do well also with the smaller sample size as well. Additionally, now what is most important in this new question type, the new improved version, that you have the full control into how you design your MaxDiff research. So you can decide that, okay, so for this 12 items we have, we can decide how many items per question we show, number of questions per respondent, and also different number of different blog versions that will be shown. And by changing those settings, you can find the research design that you like. If you would like to see exactly in detail what are the different sets, you can always download the experimental design being configured by you. And in this file, you will see that, let me maybe make it a bit bigger. Here you can see the group is the version in this case. Here we have a question task. So we have nine questions per respondent. And then per each task, you see exactly which items are shown together on this one set, right? So here for version 1 of my research design, in question 1, we are showing items 3, 5, 9, and 1. Of course, the numbers relate to the values of each item here. So this gives you the flexibility of how to work with it. So additionally, you also get calculations and different warnings. So here it depends a bit of how advanced you are with MaxDiff. So if you are not advanced, then the target is to not, I would say in short, not to see any warning, right? Because the warnings try to explain how the design, maybe it's not perfect. Some of the warnings, let's say blue ones, can be potentially ignored because even if the design is not perfectly balanced, it's still fine to run because of this different number of blog design versions and reliable sample size used. So these are fine. However, you also get those yellow warnings, for example, that you should pay more attention to, so that your research can then be, the analysis may be treated more reliably. And you should just experiment with different settings to just not see at least yellow warnings, let's say, and the best if you just don't see any warnings in the end. If you are more advanced with MaxDiff and you already created this type of research designs, you will notice that those warnings are the same as you see in other statistical software. So it just basically tells you whether you don't have a sparse design, whether items appear in all the versions, etc. So you can compare between different software if you like. In the end, the most important is that you get this flexibility now in how you construct your research design. So this is one of the most important things. The other important thing is what is happening on the analysis part. So once the whole research is done, then you, again, in terms of the report itself, you get this ranked results. Right, so here you have this rank value calculated, and then, of course, the most interesting for us is what is the rank of the items being researched in this MaxDiff survey. And another magic, let's say, that happens in the new version is that the way we calculate those rankings, right? As I said before, we calculated in the simplified version, we calculated only the simple counts. Now we implemented what is called the PageRank algorithm, and the PageRank meaning that basically we take a similar algorithm that Google is using for deciding which page to show first. A similar pattern is actually applied here to decide which items appear on the top of the ranking. How it works is that whenever respondents responds with, for example, in this case, the brand is best and center source is least important for me, the software is actually recording that, okay, so brand is best, so we treat those items as websites, and then each of those items is actually linking to the brand, meaning, whenever other websites link to you, you are the better websites, higher ranked. And the same, if the sensors is selected as worst, then it means that it links to all the other items, right? And then after completing all this process, recording all those connections, There is a special algorithm in place that calculates this rank based on which items link to each other, how many times, what is the relation between them, and then you get this nice report with the final PageRank results. We have implemented this version together with our third-party expert partner on the topic, which actually also created the white paper on it. The PageRank algorithm is oftentimes used as an alternative to hierarchical base, especially when you are, for example, analyzing a lot of different items. It just gives you instant results, and it still takes into consideration all those relations between items. So yeah, maybe already answering questions from you probably that will appear. So this is not hierarchical based, this is a PageRank, and we will include in our Education Center articles the details behind it if you would like to see exactly how it is calculated. All right, if you have, I don't want to go into even more details here. If you have any questions, then I'm happy to answer them in the end. And moving on, so this was, let's say, our main part regarding 3 main releases. And now moving on to what's coming next. So we are working on many different things. However, currently on the table and quite interesting, I think, to show is Question Library, AI Report Summaries, and AI Server Assistant. So first will come Question Library. Here, basically, what you already see, we have this, let's say, account library, right, that you can define yourself. Now we will also extend it with Survalyzer Question Library, that you will see those different small items of small either questions, different cases where you can either just quickly take market best practices and don't have to start from scratch doing the same thing again and again, like Likert scales or visual scales or frequency, or basically instead of using Google or AI, you can just quickly jump here and start using predefined topics. You also get nice technical templates that also you don't have to reference our Education Center. You can just start directly here, for example, how to do image pop-up in Survalyzer, right? Or how to do different like quota screening for anonymous surveys and things like that. So this is first thing coming very soon. The other topic we are working on is AI executive summaries, so that whatever type of report you are creating, that instead of just, especially if you have a lot of segmentations in this report, then you can actually experience both the executive summary on the report level, that is taking the most interesting numbers and insights from your report, and you can just first read it instead of going through all the charts and tables. And also per page and per table, per charts, also some quick small slot summaries will be created by AI. And also probably what a lot of people are waiting for also within our projects is that we are now working on this survey building AI assistant, that you will have this additional, chat-based UI that you are probably familiar with when working with your AI tools already, and you will have possibility to actually work with this tool to create your survey much faster, apply different changes in batch, for example, also attach your Word survey or Excel survey that you created with your colleagues, and ask AI to convert it to Survalyzer survey so that you don't have to do it yourself, right? So these are the things we are already doing internally. Now we are working basically to implement it directly in Survalyzer so that you have also the possibility of experiencing these benefits. All right, so I think we are still in time. Great. So thank you very much for following the presentation, and yeah, looking forward to questions and feedback on the topic.
Thank you so much, Bart. Well, first of all, I want to apologize because today morning, apparently the link that was sent out in the reminder was another one related to the webinar. So we got a few people that joined another meeting, but we managed to solve it. We have a few questions, yes. First one would be regarding AI follow-up open-ended questions. First one would be, can you also set specific keywords, for example, price, to then force the follow-up question to that keyword? And the second one is, I saw that in AI follow-up, there was a comment by the AI, something on the AI agreeing that price is a continuous topic. Can this be prevented and just have a neutral follow-up question?
So at the moment, first question, so at the moment, there is no additional customization possibility yet. However, from the current presentations and hearing the feedback, we hear that there is a need for that. So this is already on our roadmap to extend this feature with this additional customization possibilities. So that's first. In terms of the wording, this is the first feedback of this type that I received. But if you see this type of wording that is not appealing to you, or you worry about respondent experience with it, also I record it, right, and revise different cases to be even more neutral.
All right. Then the second one would be, this one is more related, I guess, to video rating question types. Do you offer a training video one that can use before the actual video to try out the slider usage?
I mean, we don't have it out of the box at the moment, but it's fair point, especially regarding this question library that I just presented. So we can potentially include it there. I will also make a note of it so that you don't have to explain to respondents yourself how to use it, of course.
Great. And then at last, we have, I guess it's more feedback regarding the MaxDiff question. To being able to switch the sentiment would be great, left negative and right positive on the questionnaire. So yeah, that's I guess a suggestion and noted as well. And well, for everyone that wasn't able to ask, or you will still want to share some feedback related to everything that we have presented today, I will leave now a questionnaire, a survey actually in the chat. We are very happy to receive either feedback related to the product or more questions that you have related to everything that we presented today, or any other topic that you want to share with us. And I thank you so much for being here today. You will receive also the recording of the presentation that Bart did for us today. And just to let you know, we have another webinar upcoming on the 21st of May related to employee opinion surveys. So if you want to join us there as well, you're very welcome. We will definitely take a look at what happened today, because it's very weird. Okay, then I thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bart, do you want to close with a few words as well?
So, thank you very much. Looking forward. And please, I also invite to provide those feedbacks in the survey. I personally read all of them, and they are very valuable for us.
Sorry, Bart. I missed one question in the other chat because I didn't leave it in the QA, which was, how is it for the respondent? I guess this is more related also to MaxDiff. It is not very intuitive for the respondent related to the question type. Do you have any comment related to that?
I'm not sure if it's regarding MaxDiff or video rating, actually, because
maybe we can get in contact with
MaxDiff.
It's regarding MaxDiff, yeah.
I mean, MaxDiff itself is it's based on the I would say market standard on how this MaxDiff question is usually presented. So I also, regarding the other feedback point regarding the switch between labels, we also hear it a few times already, and probably will include it potentially as an option, because the current way is traditional way, well, let's say how MaxDiff is being done. However, of course, often scales are best on the right, so people also sometimes expect it to be the right. And this experience also is really nice to use on mobile, right? Because you can just easily swipe left and right on each task, and it is also quite nice to use on mobile. So I can say I invite you to try for yourself also, and put respondent choose. And if you have feedback that it's confusing, then please provide it to us. We can also think of ways maybe to make it easier.
Perfect. Then with that one, I think we're all set. Someone has also asked which license we can use, and Arthur answered for us. Thankfully, it's available for expert license, except for the library function. And well, any other questions that you might have, please reach out to our account managers, or as said before, leave them in the survey we are leaving in the chat, and you will receive it as well in the email we're going to send out with the recording. Thank you so much, everyone. Until the next one.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.